Due to the executive order signed by President Joe Biden and the hard work, we are now moving into a different phase of this humanitarian effort. Currently, we are seeing fewer and fewer asylum seekers arrive in the city of Chicago. And the resettlement efforts, wraparound services, and support provided in the shelter system by Chicago and our partners at the county and state empower thousands of new arrivals to be on a path to self-sufficiency. So we are now able to shift from a large-scale crisis response to a more cost-effective, equitable, and strategic approach that addresses homelessness for all who need support. We've already shown the world that we have the determination and the fight to meet the needs of almost 50,000 new arrivals in less than 2 years. Should they be concerned about work authorization? Yes. Does the mayor of Chicago have the ability to authorize work? No. So that's why I'm fighting our federal government, and particularly the Republican Party that's being led by a freaking lunatic who told them not to support substantive, comprehensive immigration reform because he wants to prove a political point. And he has worked to pit poor brown people against poor black people. Shame on him. You talk about a joker. It's Donald Trump.
I watched her the other night about a bill. The bill was a disaster, by the way. It was a horrible bill. Would have let people have immunity. It would have given people, millions of people would have allowed it to come in aimlessly. We start with the murderers. We know who they are. We don't know everything about them because they've been let in without being vetted.
Chicago's Brandon Johnson announced plans for arriving illegal migrants to begin a unified sheltering system. That means they will be combining citizens and illegals together in shelters. As reported by Chicago WGN Television, changes also include elimination of the 30-day shelter extensions based on the public benefit enrollment, extension for anyone currently in the new arrival shelter system or newly entering into the system, limiting first-time shelter placement at the landing zone to new arrival families and singles that have been in the country for 30 days or less, changing the hours of the landing zone to reflect state intake center hours to 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. by November 1, 2024, closing the landing zone and the state of Illinois intake center by December 31, 2024, implementing a shelter decompression schedule to meet the budgeted target of 2,100 city-funded beds by the end of 2024. We are shifting to a more cost-effective, equitable, and strategic approach that addresses homelessness for all who need support in the city of Chicago. In retrospect, taxpayers that fell on hard times are equivalent to those illegally coming into Chicago. To be clear, we all did not vote for him or this.
Get notified when we have new content.